Thank you for joining us again at AskTheseDoctors.com. Today we're going to talk about the most commonly used sports supplement in the country, creatine. We'll give you some basics about creatine. Creatine is Greek for krios, which means meat. Creatine is found in numerous products with different names: creatine citrate, ethyl ester, monohydrate, phosphocreatine, among others. That's not so important. The key ingredient here is creatine. Don't be fooled. Some products may claim they're better than others because they contain the ester or they contain the monohydrate version of creatine. The key ingredient is creatine. This is the most commonly used legal sports supplement in the country. It's been around since the 1960s. Over 4 million kilograms of creatine are used in this country each year. A kilogram equals 2.2 pounds, so take that into perspective. 8.8 million pounds of creatine in a single year in the United States. Some basic information about how creatine works. Phosphocreatine equates to muscle energy storage. It's broken down into creatine and phosphate. This regenerates into ATP, adenosine triphosphate. This is the most basic energy source in the body. Power drops as phosphocreatine is depleted because the ATP, the basic energy source, cannot be regenerated fast enough. It does not increase ATP concentration, but it helps maintain a steady state during maximal effort sprint or power exercises. Theoretically, bigger stores of phosphocreatine translate into faster recovery and less fatigue. There's other evidence that phosphocreatine or creatine works by enhancing metabolic efficiency, which translates into lower production of lactate or lactic acid, the stuff that makes your muscles sore, ammonia, or other metabolic wastes that occur with heavy exercise. It also may improve enhanced adaptations through higher training loads. Creatine supplementation also has been shown to promote greater gains in lean body mass, which translates into muscle. Sources of creatine. Half of the daily needs are synthesized right in our own body from amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. Diet sources include meat and fish. Approximately 1 gram of creatine can be found in a half a pound of raw meat, but cooking tends to make the creatine less effective, less active. Dietary supplements are among the easiest and most common way that athletes load up their muscles. This increases creatine stores and saturates the muscles. The effects of creatine on the body are as follows. It increases the total body mass by 1.5 to 3.52 pounds. Longer use of creatine and creatine supplementation has been shown to cause a gain of weight up to 6.2 pounds. But don't freak out. Some people get preoccupied by the numbers, but realize that this is lean body mass. This is muscle. This replaces fat. Muscle burns energy at a much higher rate than any other body tissue. This results in higher caloric expenditure, consumption, and weight loss. Weight gain is in lean body mass. Gains are shown to be sustainable with daily supplementation, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. Studies of untrained females taking creatine versus placebo showed a significant gain in lean body mass of 2.2 pounds. Again, this is muscle, which burns more fat, more calories, and overall results in a better looking physique. Performance improvements. Creatine is most helpful for brief high intensity activities such as sprinting, repetitive sprints, single maximum lifts, or jumping. But overall improvement in muscle will result in improved performance in endurance sports as well. We'll talk about short-term loading, long-term supplementation. Interesting to note that creatine hasn't been shown to provide much benefit in people who are over 60 years of age. Short-term loading. What you can expect from this is improvement in speed and power in short events like we talked about: sprints, powerlifting, high jumping, things of that nature. The improvement has been shown to be anywhere from 5 to 8% in numerous studies. Over the course of repetitive sprints, that improvement can increase all the way up to 15%. One repetition maximum or vertical jump has shown improvements up to 5 to 10% with creatine supplementation and loading. Long-term supplementation consists of supplementing creatine on a daily basis over 10 weeks to 3 months. The daily dose is anywhere from 2 to 25 grams per day. Greater gains are seen overall in single sprint, repeated sprints, and overall strength has been shown to increase up to 15%. Lean body mass overall increases by 1 to 3%. This is the key point here. It's less effective if there is no loading dose, if the loading dose is less than 20 grams per day, or if the load is shorter than 5 days in duration. There's some evidence that concomitant caffeine intake can negate the positive effects of loading creatine. There are numerous ways to load creatine. The 20 to 25 gram suggested daily dose can be taken at once or broken up into several doses throughout the day. Creatine, like anything, does have some side effects. Possible side effects include nauseousness, diarrhea, stomach ache, or stomach cramps. There's some concern that very high doses could be unsafe, but there's not really any substantiated data that shows that it is. It's believed that there may be some possible harm to the kidneys, liver, or heart function if very high doses are taken. Creatine potentially could cause dehydration. If you remember, creatine causes some water to move into muscles. This may increase the risk of heat exhaustion or muscle cramps. Use caution if supplementing with creatine and working out in high environmental temperatures and humidity. Avoid combining creatine with caffeine, ephedra, ma wang, or other stimulants. There's been some case reports of serious side effects when creatine is taken in combination with these stimulants. There's really not enough known about creatine safety during pregnancy or breastfeeding, so we recommend to avoid its use in that setting. If you have underlying kidney problems, kidney disease, don't take creatine. You should also avoid creatine if you're taking medications that possibly could be harmful to the kidneys. If you have any questions at all about an interaction with creatine and your existing medications, please consult your own doctor. Some medications include diuretics, diabetic medications like insulin or metformin, high-dose nonsteroidals which include Aleve or naproxen, and certain rejection or organ transplantation drugs should not be taken with creatine. So we'll get to the bottom of it. Creatine, how to use it. This information is based on scientific studies. This is not information taken from any product manufacturer. It's not something that was taken off a website for a product or a weightlifting website. These are based on multiple scientific researched studies. The recommended loading dose is 0.3 grams per kilogram of body weight. It's felt that a minimum of a 20 gram loading dose is best. A 5-day loading period is the most commonly studied regimen, although there is some data on shorter loading periods. You can break up this load over several smaller doses or take it all in one single dose. The maintenance dose for creatine supplementation generally consists of 2 or more grams a day, or that translates into 0.03 grams per kilogram of body weight. Remember, 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds. The average typically studied maintenance dose is 2 to 5 grams per day. Taking creatine with glucose has been shown to increase the uptake of creatine into muscle by up to 60% more than taking it alone. Ways to do this include mixing it with juice, commercial products such as grape juice. It's recommended to consume extra water to avoid dehydration. Creatine does pull some body water into the muscle. As you've seen, we've given you a brief history of creatine, how it works, the anticipated benefits, we've discussed some side effects, and most importantly, we've showed you the proper scientific way to use creatine. Thank you from our team at AskTheseDoctors.com. We are happy to be growing. You can follow us at Facebook, see our videos on YouTube, or check out our blog on Blogger.